Welcome to the homepage of our Introduction to LinguaFolio training course. You've already logged into Canvas and navigated over to this course, which is our self-paced introduction. As you can see, this is our official homepage, and you can get an overview of what you're going to learn about LinguaFolio, which is a formative assessment tool that helps language learners. Obviously, it helps them assess their language competencies, document their intercultural activities, and become reflective and autonomous in their language learning. This self-paced Introduction to LinguaFolio training has 10 modules total. The first one is kind of where we start out with the course orientation, and then we have modules, as you can see, spread across, and finally module 10 is the wrap-up. This course will take approximately 10 hours to complete, so it's worth 1 CEU upon completion. To get started, just hit the Get Started button you find on the home page, and it will take you over to the course orientation or module 1. That, of course, begins with our welcome video here that we're already doing. And notice that one of the things in this self-paced course is that you will always have something to do on each page. On many pages like this, where you have some reading to do and a video to watch, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll simply mark that page as done. Once that changes to done as a green button, you can then click the next button in the bottom right and go on. As you go through the course orientation, there's an overview of Canvas courses in general, what kinds of technology you need. You click each page as done, and you progress through. There's also a section on what third-party apps you'll need, as well as the icons and so forth that you'll be seeing throughout the course. As always, you'll mark that as done, and then move on. On some pages, of course, you'll be doing an assignment, so you'll be submitting to a discussion forum, or you might even be doing a survey or a quiz that you'll have to complete in order to get credit and move forward. This page looks at the completion policy and our overall syllabus. There's a restatement of how many modules there are and the credit you can earn, as well as the purpose. Please note that there's no partial contact hour or CEU certificates issued. In order to earn credit, you must complete all the requirements with a score of 80% or higher overall in the Canvas gradebook. We'll take a look at the gradebook in a moment. This is also where the syllabus is linked, and you can read through that before going on. Notice as we're going through, you can always see on the left-hand side the navigation bar, and so you can jump from place to place or back to the home page whenever you need to in the course. Let's take a look at the syllabus, which we can click on here or over here on the navigation bar like it just did. Our course syllabus is laid out with 3 learning objectives and again information about the contact hours and certificate of completion. Since you are doing this within home base, you will be able to get your certificate and your credit through that system. There's information about the materials needed. Most of the materials are contained within the course, but if you need anything, there'll always be a link to tell you where that is. We have a North Carolina LinguaFolio Google site with all the materials posted for use in our state. This is, of course, from the national site for LinguaFolio, as well as some materials that are specific to us here in North Carolina. You have a syllabus here and a suggested schedule. Please take a look at it. It has been designed to give you kind of an overview of how much time you'll need to complete each module in the course, based on you being, of course, a working teacher or administrator. So you'll need to devote some time each week if you decide to do it on a weekly basis throughout. And notice that this is just a suggested syllabus. One thing we encourage you to do is to download this and to create your own with the actual dates on it that you will be using. All right, we jumped over to the syllabus, so let's take a look at the modules, which is where we were. Again, you can always click on that on the left-hand side. This shows you where you are in the course. Notice that the orientation module, which we were working on, is here, and now that we've marked some of it done, over the right-hand side, that's checked off. That'll help you keep track of where you're at in the course and what progress you've made. Since we need to go back and make sure we mark our syllabus pages done, we'll click right on that and jump back in. Once we've read that and you're satisfied that you've got everything you need for the syllabus, again, mark as done and then hit next. One of the things you'll find at the end of each module is some kind of quiz or survey or something like that, some assignment for you to complete and turn in. This is required by the system so that you can earn credit in a self-paced course. In this case, you just have a pretest at the end of the course orientation that kind of gives you an overview of LinguaFolio and is designed to see what you know already about LinguaFolio based on what you'll be learning throughout the course. I won't take that now. I'll leave that for you. But let's jump back over here on the navigation bar to the modules, because again, that gives us an overview. So after the course orientation and doing the pretest, you'll go to Module 2. Module 2 is an overview of what is LinguaFolio. And notice that every module starts out with the goals and outcomes, any handouts that are required, and then goes into whatever content is there. Most of these pages are similar to what you've seen already. There'll be some content for you to read, perhaps a video to watch or videos. You'll always have access, by the way, to the transcripts of the videos if you'd prefer to read. As you go through, you'll also see that you'll be contributing to different things. So right here we have, for example, not a page to read, but an activity for you to do, a classroom reflection, where you'll have to contribute to the discussion. Again, you'll have to do that just as you would mark the page as done if you were reading it in order to progress forward. And then it ends with a quiz. Module 3 is building your own LinguaFolio. We always encourage teachers to have their own LinguaFolio because you are a lifelong learner just like you want your students to be. And so building your own is an important step. And again, you have a whole module to do that, where you have your goals and outcomes, the handouts to do that, and then the information you'll need to make that happen. Module 4 is reflective learning and teaching in an autonomous environment. Module 5 is making LinguaFolio-like activities in your classroom on a daily or regular basis so that students know how to use LinguaFolio when they get to that to do self-assessment. Module 6 is the importance of interculturality. And you'll notice that some of these modules, like Module 6, have a variety of components because there's more content in those particular modules. The syllabus has been adjusted, by the way, to reflect that you might need extra time on some of these modules. Module 7 is assessing language performance, where we really look at LinguaFolio and how to incorporate summative assessments as well as being a formative assessment tool. Module 8 is the implementation timeline and setting goals module. This is where you think through how you want to implement this in your classroom and introduce it to your students and use it on a regular basis. Module 9 is connecting LinguaFolio to the North Carolina Educator Evaluation System, or NESYS as it's called. And again, this is a North Carolina specific component of this training that will be important for you to understand as you're working on this training and also implementing LinguaFolio in your language program. Module 10 is just a wrap up. There's a final quiz that you take and then some next steps that you finish up, as well as information about how this works with the course overall. All right, that's about it. One last thing I did want to point out in the navigation bar, as we said before, you can always go to any part of the course. If you go over to the grades, this is where you can see what you've done on each survey or quiz as you go through. Remember in the instructions, it said you had to get an 80% or higher on all of those kinds of assessments, as well as complete each page and mark it as done or contribute to it as needed based on the content. And so you can always check on your grades and always follow up on the discussions over here by clicking on that. That looks at all the pages you contribute to, where there's a discussion forum or response from you, as well as just a look at the quizzes or surveys that we have. I'll go back to the home page now. That concludes our introduction video. We wish you all the best with the Introduction to LinguaFolio training, and we're excited that you're getting started with LinguaFolio in your classroom.